Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is March 28th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery, and I'm going to back this up, and you can see our low pressure system over the last couple of days pinwheeling off our coast. Kind of looked like a cinnamon bun there for a while. Spinning rounds of showers back up across the region. Got another round of thunderstorms for some areas yesterday as well. If I show you this, we'll go ahead and play through the Doppler radar, and we'll go back all the way couple days ago, and then we scroll through yesterday, and we did have some of the thunderstorm activity come up. I'll show you where the lightning strikes, where most of them did occur. And then we scroll in through where we are right now. We still have precipitation going across some of the region. A fairly wet morning here across a lot of western Washington, some of northwest Oregon as well. And there is a bit of a thunderstorm chance here today and tomorrow. If we take a wider look at things, this is what is next up in store for us. We're going to keep some of this troughing going on for a bit, but there are some signs, some light at the end of the tunnel here. As we go through the extended forecast, we may start to dry out a bit here as we go on in towards April, and maybe some nice weather lurks in our extended forecast. I'll show you some of that here as we go through the video today. And if you want to check out my Patreon page and help support the channel, you can do that there. Looks like I got a typo to correct there. But yeah, dust devil chasing. I'm going to put stuff like that out. I'm actually going to, if somebody wants to go, this is this is not a dangerous event out here, but it's very fun out there watching dust devils in eastern Washington. It's actually extremely fun. So go ahead and check it out. And if you want, there's all kinds of stuff on the Patreon page, and I plan on opening a Discord chat eventually so I can jump in there time to time, and maybe we get some community chat going there, and answer some questions and things like that. So anyway, now talking about what happened, a couple days ago here, as far as these probabilities, a lot of the headlines, granted, were very misleading for this event. I saw a lot of people putting out pictures of tornadoes in their forecast and things like that, and it did make it sound like there was, a big hailstorm that was going to come swooping across the area. And I tried to explain how even if there was big hail, it would be extremely unlikely that any one individual area would get those hailstone reports. That is not how severe weather works. Even in these big outbreaks in their plains, there's huge swaths of areas that don't get any severe weather reports a lot of times. And so when you talk about 2% chance, you got to think about that. Any 25-mile point, 2% chance. This very remote chances here. And I disagreed with this 5% upgrade. I talked about that on the day of when they actually did the upgrade here. But yeah, trying to just drive home the point in this probabilistic forecast, and the hail here as well. When you're talking about 15%, that's a 1 in 6 chance within any 25 given miles of a point. So if I'm driving out in my car, even if I'm trying to purposely put myself in the path of some of these storms, even if they were occurring, it would still be extremely difficult to do so. So what I'm trying to say is that 99.9% of us would not have seen big hail even if this did come into fruition here. But that doesn't mean we don't have to warn people here, because just with what happened, we had lightning damaging homes and things like that, and there were some severe wind gusts up here across portions of northeast Washington as well. So people still have to be warned, because if you're the unlucky one that's underneath one of these tracks of these storms, then then people have to answer for that. If there's no warning, that's a much worse case scenario. And then there's just absolute garbage. I'm just going to be frank with you guys here. This stuff is going around the internet, in the days preceding this. This is just garbage. This is totally misleading. This is meant to draw people in, and they think that National Weather, and sometimes your brain shuts off. You think this is a National Weather Service product. This is not. And this is somebody who is well known by the National Weather Service for trying to fake reports. He is not a meteorologist. He is not a good forecaster. And putting out stuff like this, like the ID number here and things like that, this is intentionally meant to deceive. And this was making the rounds on the internet. And I know this had a big impact on some people and what they were thinking was going to happen across the region. So do not listen to this absolute gutter trash. Please, this is very detrimental to the weather community. Make sure that you're getting it from a trusted source. Anyway, back to the forecast and off on my soapbox. Taking a look here. So this is the weather station currently at my home right now. You can see the winds there, the UV index starting to bring a little bit of that sunshine through the clouds. There is some light rainfall falling. We almost got a 0.3 of an inch of rain today, and you can see it did detect some lightning here, and it was doing pretty well with that storm that moved through. And I got to fix my pressure there here. That is not calibrated properly here. But yeah, very fun weather station. You can see how you hook it up. You plug it into your house, and this connects wirelessly to this. You put it on a pole, or you can take that off and put it on some kind of fence fence post or wood. Very fun system. So click on the link down below if you want to save 10% off on that. And you'll also see the Patreon link down below as well. So anyway, looking at lightning strike potential here over the, or not potential, this is actually what occurred yesterday here. But you can see Oregon coast, southwest BC, some portions of southern Washington, just off to the east of Portland. And we had some decent thunderstorms going across the border of Washington, Oregon, all the way in towards Idaho yesterday as well. And you can also go back 2 days and see the widespread lightning that we did have also. So yeah, probably a few strikes here over the next couple of days as well. I'll show you some of that here in a moment. So if we take a look here, we are now at about 9 o'clock on the latest. It's about 9:20 when I'm doing this briefing. You can see the apparent temperature as you go across some of the higher terrain here and some of the Seattle, Portland areas. It's a bit brisk out there. You know, it's not summertime by any stretch of the imagination. I'm crossing my fingers for some warmer weather through the extended. Here we go for today. This is daily 2-meter max temperature. Let me update that. Yep. Okay. So that is the latest. This is for today. Some mid-50s out there, you know, a little bit on the chilly side there as well. Higher terrain also. This is not apparent temperature. This is just the actual 2-meter, you know, actual temperature itself. Now, this is for today, Friday, March 28th. Spokane does talk about that again, the potential for some thunderstorm activity. And check it out. You can see the weather balloon there flying through the atmosphere that they had launched. And this is for today. It does not show this in the Storm Prediction Center here at Clip-In Spokane. It does show Pendleton, Eugene, and Medford, for example. And then day 2, it does include Spokane, some of northeast Washington, and it does include Boise, Missoula, and Butte, Montana. Now, taking a look at where we are right now, this is our trough, kind of off the coastline here, spinning showers back up and around the area. Get a little bit of a break there, maybe on Sunday. Sneak a dry day in here, maybe on Sunday, but we still got this troughing going. And it's going to be throwing another system in here as we go through the day on Sunday. And you see the trough hanging out, and another trough wants to drop down right there. But in the wake of that, I'm going to show you this in the extended forecast. We may start to dry out a little bit here across the region. And if we take a look at the North American model, 12Z run, put that into motion. You see the precipitation. This is about 2 o'clock today. 3. You start to get a little bit of some breaks out there, but still quite a few showers here, especially west of the Cascades. We scroll on in through Saturday morning as well, and we start to dry out at some point on the day Saturday, but there may be some kind of convergence zone up here across northwest Washington as well. But then we cut off the showers and we go through the day Sunday or Sunday morning. Precipitation starting from southwest Oregon. It's going to be moving across the region here, but some areas will at least start out a bit dry. But there you go. We start to move on towards 5 o'clock, and that precipitation starts moving up into western Washington as well. But eastern Washington, of course, is going to start a bit later. Now, looking at 80-meter wind speed here. So we do have, you know, there's a couple gusty winds out there. This is nothing too much. But what I do want to show you is we go through the day Saturday. See the southeast and the southerly flow here coming up the Puget Sound. And then you bring the westerlies there. That's where that convergence zone could form on the day on Saturday. So you can kind of see that these winds here would be merging there. The convergence zone can, you know, form across the central sound. It can cross the southern Puget Sound here as well. So it just depends on the prevailing winds there as they converge, as they wrap around the Olympic Mountains. I've even seen them come out of the northeast and wrap around and even be on the south flank or the southeast flank of the Olympic Mountains in very rare conditions. Most of the time they're up near Everett, there's the King and Snohomish County line. Now, lightning flash density potential. So this is for today. If I scroll through the day today, you can see some of that activity, probably most there across some of the Idaho Panhandle into eastern Oregon. And you can't rule out a lightning strike here west of the Cascades, but it's not a strong signal by any stretch of the imagination. We go through the day Saturday, and then you can see northeast Washington there. You can kind of see probably the favored area for a lightning strike and maybe the convergence zone activity there as we go through tomorrow afternoon on Saturday, and then we wait for the next system to arrive. And we're going to skip the winds there on the North American model. We'll take a look here. 2-meter temperature anomaly. This is last night's European artificial intelligence run. So not doing too bad, actually, as we go on in towards next week. I mean, there's some chillier temperatures here. A lot of that is across a lot of Oregon and California. But what we want to look at here, and what I'm really crossing my fingers for after that trough moves through, is some potential warmer conditions here. I'd love to see some spring weather at this time of year. but I'll take storms as well. But you can kind of see that hanging on above normal conditions as we go through the second half of the forecast. Just something fun to watch off in the extended. But I should probably emphasize that we are going to be below normal here for a lot of the Pacific Northwest in the meantime as we go on in through next week, as we're waiting for that trough to clear out. Now the extended forecast here, 500 millibars, again, the troughing that we're going to be dealing with here for the next couple of days. Maybe a sneaky half dry day in there on Sunday before the next system is already rolling in, and then we wait. Well, how about that next trough? It doesn't show it. It shows that ridge building in there pretty well by the time we get towards April 3rd, and then you can see that get established here across the Pacific Northwest. So yeah, thumbs up for that. Deep trough out over the Gulf of Alaska and the Pacific Ocean, hopefully to amplify this ridge back across the region, troughing in turn downstream across the Southwest USA. And then this next trough here looks like it's weakening, and we'll see just how much of an impact that has, but then you can see the ridge get reestablished yet again there as we go through the extended. And again, we'll just kind of take a look at this. So there's Sunday system there as it moves up and across from south to north across the area. And then that trough swings through. And then it looks like maybe next Thursday we start to really dry out. And then Friday, maybe a dry day as well. Maybe Saturday, one more. You see this frontal system not in a hurry to get in here. And then it starts to weaken as it does, but doesn't really get into Western Washington, Western Oregon all the way till Monday. So we may have a few days of some dry weather there if we scroll back and forth Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if we're lucky. I mean, we'll have to check back on that because that's looking a little bit too far off in the forecast to get into those kind of details. But then we build that ridge there and through the extended forecast, and who knows? It's springtime. We'll see how that turns out. But look at this 15-day precipitation anomaly that in turn kind of showing up, some below average finally showing up as we go through about April 11th time frame shown there. And just a reminder, if you're going off in the backcountry, check before you go, avalanche.org, higher terrain there. You can see there is some moderate out there. You can click on this and get all kinds of good information. Here's the 6 to 10 day updated yesterday. Should be no surprise, below normal across the west, above. And then the below normal, they still have it hanging out here, but that may change. And when this updates today, I expect this to back off a little bit there. And then above normal is probably going to go away, I have a feeling as well. Drought Monitor did update yesterday, and the only change that I saw was if I scroll back across here, they did reduce some of the extreme drought there across Montana, and some of the severe they cut back on as well. Looks like they cut a little bit there across some of Wyoming also, but didn't look like Washington changed at all. They took a little bit of that abnormally dry out there for some of the Kitsap Peninsula, it looks like. And look at that. Oregon, completely drought-free, no abnormally dry conditions either. So, yeah, not bad. And the moderate drought still exists for some of the Cascades there. And you can see we are doing pretty good here. We picked up some subscribers here over the last couple of days. Look at this. We're only 2,075 people away from the 100,000 marker. I'm going to put it back here behind on the shelf so you guys can see it. This is just as much your guys' award as it is mine. Thanks everybody who has helped support the channel, especially my supporting members. You can click the join button down below if you like to do so. Or again, check out the Patreon page in the link down below. But otherwise, click like and subscribe. We will do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.